Alright. I think I'm done everything I need to do. Hello everyone, I'm Tara Geode. I've been messing around with transitions lately and had a little bit too much fun. So that's nice. I probably need to update some of my stuff to reflect what I've been working on. Still doing art, and if anything happens where I just completely miss someone's message, I'm sorry. Just sorry, got too much in the flow, but I think I'm gonna start out with just drawing, well, sketching for a little bit, then I go back to working on what I've been working on. Anyway, get started. But, I've been busy doing a lot of this. So, yeah. But this is one that I kind of started because I'll be honest, I probably need to make more art of my PNG tuber. Go for that for now. Anyways. Also been slowly trying to figure out... I randomly flip back and forth between, like, just being able to use minimal guidelines and having to have them everywhere. I think, this week has been more of a... I haven't practiced a lot, so I need more guidelines. Or at least I haven't practiced a lot of drawing just the human body in general, so I need more guidelines again. Until I get my confidence or something back with just free, loose drawing, like whatever this is. Oh. One thing I'm still trying to decide is what music exactly I like. Started using some different music tools, Epidemic Sounds in particular. A lot more variety, and I kind of like being able to do. Granted, it also helps that I kind of do have a job to help pay for a license to broadcast this for a year, although right now I'm on my free trial period. Theoretically should still have all that money or enough money to pay for a year, or by the time I go back to college and get my last paycheck. I'm working an internship that I got an unexpected raise for, so I'm happy. Fortunately, there have also been some small parts that I've been working on that I'm just having trouble with. Oh yeah. I've also been regularly forgetting to update social medias outside of Twitter, so that's been kind of embarrassing. So I think that's mostly a case of I just don't I remember that I need to schedule stuff for like, I don't know, a week or two. Oh, really, it's more so a week, and then I just completely forget about it. I have like 3 different reels that I need to finish editing and then uploading, and scheduling those out, obviously. Um, one of the things I think was just the initial drawing that I did after tons of just like concept sketches, both physical and digital concept sketches. And believe it or not, I did start on 2 different pieces, although both of those were 2 different designs that I was experimenting with. In the end, I kind of ended up just liking the vibe of this one a bit more because I felt it fit me more. Like, of course, for me, there's also now the issue of, okay, I figured out a design. Now I need to figure out that funky little thing called lore, because I'll be honest, I am not the best writer. I mean, right now, the current idea I have is just interdimensional sentient gem shard or something. I don't know. Then again, just like, the only reason why I consider that is just because half of the time my brain wanders into random holes that just end up devolving into fanfiction and magic. Then again, what's life without a little bit of spice and magic? Worst comes to worst, Earth updates, removes the entire US again, and I can just escape into the void without having to deal with the fact that the area I'm located in is suddenly an ocean. No, I like to guess the reason why that happened is because the fireworks kept on causing lag for the entire Earth server as just a joke. Well, I just don't know why. Lately, knees have just been... that was just my desktop saying, Snap Assist. This helps you use Windows and optimize your... No, I don't need that. If anything, the second account I set up on here solely so I could possibly try just working on more complicated stuff that just requires access and being able to use stuff that would technically dox me if I didn't have my pseudonym attached to it. Setting that up was a nightmare and a half because I had to... Because it turns out some stuff doesn't directly import and some stuff does, so I'm gonna have to be figuring out a little bit of what did and did not import. Like, one thing I know didn't import into that was my Terraria profile, so I did not feel like just completely restarting Terraria on that. I know for art I could just flip back and forth with drawing. I could stream from whichever one of those accounts I wanted to. It's just a little bit more annoying to set it up because while I technically do have it downloaded, a lot of the stuff is technically saved on a different account, and I have to go into files and go, alright, PC, search this particular thing that I already have downloaded instead of downloading it a second time. That was fun trying to figure out how to get this little thing, the AutoTube, to work in that. Because while I do make a lot of the art assets myself, I'm still learning some coding stuff, so I'm not going to attempt to forcibly do all of that by myself quite yet. Because there's some assets that are pre-made, and I'll just say pre-made, free to use, whatever. Sure. I don't know how to write music. I'm not going to attempt that. But if I did, I would happily just say, feel free to use it, just credit me. Then again, I can't even read sheet music, so there's no way that's happening anytime soon. Yeah. I'm thinking I might move this so that there's a bit more space for me to just work with this. Oh yeah, I decided on a pole arm because pole arms are frankly a little underrated. Or, then again, I have a lightsaber that I swing around like it's a pole arm because I refuse to hold it normally. Yeah. Uh, where was I? Oh, right. I've also kind of figured out in just doing this, just like, it's a little harder to get most design details beyond, like, hair to read that well when I'm sketching like this, so the main goal, I guess, of this little sketchbook is just to get the core body details down. Maybe you just generally mark out the silhouette of the clothes, but it's a little bit of a mess trying to get anything beyond that. Because then it just ends up not reading that well, and then when I go to do a bit more of a larger sketch over it, it just becomes unreadable. Then again, I've also been messing around a bit with my sketch pen, with my sketch brushes, mostly because I've been trying to make them feel more, I don't know how to say it, but just like the ones that I use in real life, because that's what feels most comfortable to me. I'll be honest, I kind of want to listen to more just guitar stuff. It's just that I feel like jazz suits the mood a little bit better. Although I don't know how loud it is compared to here, because I've still been messing around with settings. I think I have it set pretty low. Anyways, where was I? Oh yeah, another thing I've also been trying to work on is making a character turnaround, because I'll be honest, the first thing I'm probably going to do after attempting to make a blender donut from memory is probably attempt to make a 3D model, and I'm probably going to need that if I want to. And the turnaround is probably going to be, well, just useful in general. I mean, I already have like a rough idea of what I'm probably going to be doing for the backpack. Just like this little vest thing is split in two pieces that just close in front. I'll be honest, I'm still learning character design. First design was actually just a recycled character that had a bit more of a clear focus, but was relatively close to what I wanted for my VTuber design, but not exactly fully there. And I'll be honest, actually, looking back, it actually didn't fit what I wanted at all for that character. So I'm also in the process of redesigning that character. I think I was experimenting with another idea on a separate page. Yeah, this one. I think at the time I just wanted a character in a poncho, so that was that. But that's a completely separate project that's related to just roleplay nonsense. Just realized I, I keep drawing this character way too tall. Like, she's supposed to be 4 heads tall, and instead I'm making her closer to 6. So, well, I guess 4 or 5 heads is really what I'm going for. Instead, I'm... And again, I don't really know how to just make sure characters stay the height they're supposed to be. And that just really goes to show that I'm not a professional when it comes to this. Because, I'll be honest, I started art largely as a hobby. That isn't going to stop me from experimenting, having fun, and learning. I have, like, more height accurate. Oh yeah, this is another goofy little thing that when I was trying to mess around with foreshortening, I think you can see the problem here. Well, I guess the other issue I'm having is that while I know how to draw the front leg, it's just like drawing the back leg that quickly becomes an issue for me. And again, oh yeah, up here I was just experimenting with drawing chibis. I still don't know what I'm doing. Like, I can get them to look nice in a neutral pose, but these arms, they're just not working for me. So, if you know someone who can teach me how to draw chibis, feel free to send them my way. Otherwise, I will continue crying and struggling. Let's thicken these arms up while I'm here. I think I might add more to this later, just quickly sketch in hat. There we go. Not exactly good, but not exactly bad either. I'm gonna do one more just like quick doodle sketch. And then I'm gonna move on to actually finishing what I was working on last time I did an art stream. Though, I'll be honest, I'm thinking about shifting from doing Wednesday streams to Thursday streams because I've more or less lost control of my Wednesdays until further notice. Although that's completely no fault of my own, that is because my mom kept getting busy and I occasionally have to take over for dinner because my dad only really knows how to make one thing, and it's egg in a hole. Well, he technically does know how to make other things such as steak. It's just that I want to be able to have something other than steak or egg in a hole for dinner. Yeah, if anyone ever pops in chat, if you want me to change the music, just say so. I'm just listening to whatever I feel like, and I feel like jazz just suits the vibe. I don't know why jazz suits the vibe, it just does. So unless anyone says otherwise, we listen to jazz. Yeah, sorry if those knees and elbows look messy, it's just me trying to place them. Oh yeah, I'm not paying attention at all to how many people are viewing, largely because I know I'm probably gonna end up being a little sad if I see it and don't like it, but I don't care. Now, where was that? Oh yeah. All I know is that... Wait, I'm curious. Yeah, I'm probably gonna need to change these panels out sooner or later because some of them look nice, some of them look like a mess. I'm probably just gonna go ahead and just change from Wednesday streams to Thursday streams. Either that, or I might stream more often, just stream Monday, Tuesday, well, just stream 4 days a week, including... Because my options are either... Well, regardless, I've lost control of my Wednesdays. I'm streaming on Thursday regardless. But I might also throw Tuesday in, too. And just take Wednesday and Sunday off. I mean, no matter what happens, I'm probably always going to end up taking Sunday off. Although that's just largely a habit that I've formed growing up the way I did. All I know is that there's a ton of stuff that I need to finish working on, and some stuff that I've temporarily sidelined, either because of my job or because I'm just trying to learn stream-related stuff. No. Yeah. Keep forgetting I have that little widget thingy there, mostly for my own convenience. Because I sometimes use that whenever I'm recording, or at least screen recording something, or say like a reel. Because sometimes it's nice to see my exact process in real time, and sometimes I can just download the whole regular... I can download what Procreate gives me. I do that, although I do like recording my own signing off of the piece. Because I just feel like that reads a little nicer in a reel. Just to see the sign off happen in real time, as opposed to just the speed paint that Procreate will spit back at you. I'm gonna put a little bit of a face on this. And then I'm gonna switch over to finishing the other thing that I've been working on. And if we finish that, making fan art of myself. I think that looks nice. Anyways, I'm gonna quickly transition because I have to deal with this fun little annoying aspect of Procreate where once I leave and go into something, it basically only gives you this view. Like, I could be zoomed all the way in and you wouldn't see anything else. There we go. Now, where was I? No, that's social stuff I've been working on. Ah, here we are. Give it a second to reload in. We're back. Anyways. I think I need to get the original color of the lightning, though, in order to... Did I use pure cyan? No, I did not. I used slightly off cyan. Switch all of that back. Huh. Or that one of these is supposed to be a color dodge layer. I think it was... Or at least with how I draw lightning, that is. Actually, I think with this there were a few things that I wanted to finish cleaning up. Like, some details of the skirt and shoes. I know with shoes, I'm just already going to have a hard time with just all these little details. Oh yeah. I was working on a cel-shaded piece earlier for... Well, I guess she qualifies as a friend. But for a fellow VTuber... Granted, I think that one is mostly meant... That one is entirely meant to just be a funny little joke. And right now I'm just 50-50 on just pushing it even further, even though I originally stated I'm probably only going to do a cel-shaded version of it. I might go further though. I mean, I'm also being a bit more careless with the shading down here, mostly because the focus of the piece is meant to be more up here, where there's just lights shining everywhere. I just wanted to get a little bit of extra shading detail in. And then I'm probably gonna push everything even down further back. Just a big generic just make things a little darker. A bit like that. Maybe add a little bit more down there and darken that. I think that looks pretty good. This I'm probably gonna have to smooth out a little. All I know is that I've had a bit of the meh week. Although that's entirely related to just completely That's just related to some of my family members. And again, I think they've just been the way they are largely because one of them had a stroke. So I don't really blame them. I just did not have the energy to deal with people that day. And again, I think it didn't help that I'd also spent the past few days getting next to no sleep. And I think that was entirely my bad because I was up late just getting my fill after the AO3 DDoS attacks, which sucked. Because I was just randomly thinking about going to check on a fic that I had been reading for a while, because I read a lot of Star Wars fics. And I can't sign in, and then I go to Twitter to see what the heck is going on, and there was a DDoS attack. What the heck? So, I think, that was that day. The day after that, or Friday at the very least, I pretty much spent, instead of going to get food with the family, because I was frankly not really that interested in having another. I'd already had a lot of fun other Asian food that week. I kind of just wanted to stay home and make tortillas. I wanted tortillas, and I had a massive headache after hearing back from hearing back from a customer from what was basically a ghosted case, and turns out, well, I managed to get that handled, so, or at least it's going to be handled very soon, because it turns out it was a case of you lost access to the email, so you can't contact the person who was helping you. So that kind of sucked. All I know is that right now I have a love-hate relationship with Help Desk, and my dad has been trying to convince me for when I go back to university, to get a job at the Help Desk. Already my summer job. I don't know if I'm going to be happy if I have to do it for a bunch of college students. Although it probably would mean that I get a little closer with some of the faculty that I've not really met, because I know it's incredibly unlikely that my personal department doesn't need a lot of tech support, mostly because everyone there studies computer science, and their default setting is everyone in the family is going to assume you're tech support, so you have to be tech support. Since my mom has been doing tech support stuff for so long, she's pretty much regarded as the family default tech support. Although one time my nana, my dad's mom, she called me and asked me about the little cell tower bars, the little cell bars, and just like, I had to explain to her that those only really mattered if you're not connected to the internet. I forget what exactly the issue was. I think it was something related to just seeing the percent charge on her phone. And then she asked about that. It was just relatively... just the silly questions that you'd expect an old person to ask who didn't have a technical background in, like, computers and whatnot. You know, one thing I'm probably gonna have to eventually sit down and do is just, one, get comfortable with my talking voice. Two, get comfortable with my singing voice. And I mean hearing it played back at me, not hearing it through my own head, because obviously when I hear it, I think it sounds just a lot deeper than it actually is. It probably sounds a little bit higher than some of you. Like, the longest time I couldn't understand why my high school choir director kept on placing me in Sopranos. Then turns out he was hearing something completely different from what I was hearing. Yeah. Alright, I think that's good. Of course, now with this, I need to be a bit more mindful of where I put what. I'm mostly using just like these as general reference points. Should probably also something a bit more neutral. I mean, obviously the goal of the first pass is just get a rough idea of what where the lighting is hitting, or at least where these patches of light are hitting. Ah. I'll be honest, I probably should have done each of these three things from their own side. Mhm. Uh, Missed a few tiny pots. I guess the other weird area of difficulty for me, um, at least in terms of just rendering, is the ear. Like, sometimes it's too much, and other times it feels like it's too little. Mhm. 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 Alright. Oh, it's generally good for the face. I tend to do a little smudging around last. I think here the shadows are just going to be sharper only because it's that close to the light source. Ah. Guess I didn't really add enough to shirt. And some would get around shoulder up here. I mean, I know regardless, some of these I'm gonna have to smooth out a little. Go back to this shirt. Obviously, just erase areas where there's no way that light would hit. See. Alright, on to the next bit. This arm. Or at least the part of the arm that's sticking out. I'll be honest, I don't think this particular hand was my best. But again, I might just need to get better at drawing hands in general. Again, like, hands are just the hardest part of the body to draw. Ah, wrong thing. just had a weird thought. I could probably leave a link to my telenym somewhere in the About section, so I could, once I get that set up on my phone, I could probably just look and see, what questions come in. The only downside to that would be I probably wouldn't answer all of them. I mean, I've been asked a few interesting questions, although there are obviously going to be some that I will refuse to answer, either because they're doxing or because I don't feel like they're very stream appropriate. Though, one of the more interesting ones that I've had come in this week was one asking, what's more important, creativity, being really creative, or being super smart? And I'll be honest, despite me going into computer science, I think creativity is a bit more important than just being smart. Because when I hear being smart, all I think is most of your abilities factor strictly into just knowing stuff, being an encyclopedia, not necessarily just knowing. How do I put this? Not necessarily knowing how to apply that knowledge. Like, you can get good grades in school all day, you can ace that math test, but that kind of knowledge can only get you so far, because for me, I feel like people who lean more into their creativity end up kind of just becoming smarter. Like, how do I put this? Like, if, let's say, you're a writer, when you're writing, you could be writing whatever the heck you want. You can write fantasy, you can write realistic literature. Point is, at the end of the day, you're probably going to end up having to do some form of research into how some particular aspect of something or another works, be it you're basing your research off some historical you're writing something related to either a culture that's based off a different culture, you're researching a type of creature that you want to include in your story, or you're just researching general human behaviors. That's a relatively creative appliance of knowledge. And that knowledge, and the only reason you even decided to learn anything about that particular culture or how something works, is because you're writing a creative work that included that particular thing. Or if you're an artist and you want to learn how, say, light works, you're going to learn how it works, how to draw a bunch of different materials, going to learn a few different technical skills. I mean, I guess I could even just dive into the realm of geometry, which is my least favorite math subject, but I'll be honest, the main reason I didn't like it was because I just had to write a bunch of long-winded proofs that an equilateral... Part of my geometry education, including learning just Euclidean geometry, which is its own wonderful nightmare of a beast. The thing is, with creativity, building a base of knowledge kind of just goes hand in hand with that. Because there are, actually, believe it or not, one of the math problems I got assigned, you actually, despite everyone in that class having the technical skills to solve that problem, almost none of us were able to figure out how to solve it, only because unless you were thinking creatively, you would not have seen the underlying structures of that geometry problem that would have made solving for X a heck of a lot easier. But creativity, and I'll be honest, I kind of feel like creativity and knowledge just are something that kind of go hand in hand, and it's just a redundant step to just say creative's over here, intelligence over there. They kind of go hand in hand, require a little bit of feeding off each other. I mean, from my perspective, it's also just a matter of you need to be creative in how you apply your knowledge. Otherwise, you're just going to have a bunch of knowledge that sits there and only serves as a technical thing, and that's all it's good for. Like, I learned a bunch of programming stuff, but I wouldn't be able to apply it if I didn't have a bit of creativity when it came to applying that knowledge. Because without creativity, math basically just boils down to being a glorified calculator with no real interest. And I kind of think it's just sad how people just are so focused on only just... I just find it sad that some people are just so determined to toss creativity onto a machine when in reality the only thing that it can create is what's already been created and regurgitate it in... It can't make something outside of the parameters that it's been fed. An artist, you can give them parameters and they'll somehow figure out how to add something else to it. Because each individual has their own life experiences that they're just weaving into their work. Like, programmers, they're weaving in their knowledge, they're weaving in comments, they're weaving in a bunch of little technical stuff that they learn that can possibly make whatever they're working on work faster. They're building stuff because they find it worthwhile and entertaining. And that's the thing. There's something about that you just can't replicate by just... There's something about it you can't replicate by just clicking a button over and over like that. Like, then, if you're just offloading all of that onto a machine, the only thing... You're basically offloading your own ability to solve your own problems. Like, artists of all formats, visual, written, programming, they take all of their previous knowledge and experience and apply that into solving the problem they've been presented with. Sure, some solutions are better than others, but I guess a computer can solve a problem more theoretically solve a problem more efficiently, but it can't strictly make those snapshot judgments where you may not have all the information you need, but you can still make a decision that might be the difference between being in a great place and being in a sad place. Because, I'll be honest, machines can only do so much heavy lifting. And I'm cool with just... I'll be honest, when I first thought about AI when I was a kid, I thought about cool robots like C3PO, oh, sassy little guy that he is, or R2D2, the even sassier astromech droid. And unfortunately, reality is the AI we have right now probably never going to be able to approach the levels of just wonderfulness that are those characters that I grew up watching and loving. Or if they do, we're an incredibly long ways off, and it's just sad that some people are more interested in just being a gimme than just learning the wonderful process that is just learning to create with your own two hands. Or at least, I think the people who do want to create with their own two hands, I'll be honest, I just think a lot of people who use AI to build their own platform are kind of just incredibly sad and disingenuous. They're chasing clout that they frankly didn't really earn, and the only clout they really have is probably a bunch of people who are just trying to build clout the exact same way they are. Like, it's cool, it's interesting, I guess, but unless you're playing Cookie Clicker, there's not a lot of satisfaction just hitting a button over and over. Again, the goal of most idle games is that you eventually get to the point where it's going so fast that you forget that you're even playing the game and you just wander off and never turn it on again. Or at least that's kind of just the feeling I get from it. Because I played a few of those kind of just cookie clicker style games for a bit and I got bored. And then I kind of just like I feel like a lot of artists who rely on AI to build their a lot of quote-unquote artists who rely on AI to build their portfolios are just missing out on a lot. Like, they aren't really adding anything that's strictly new, they're just relying on one gimmick to get them wherever they need in life. But thing is, people are complex, and reducing them to just basically algorithms is kind of just not really doing it. Like, you can generalize things to a certain extent, but at the end of the day, things such as healthcare and whatnot, you're ultimately just going to have to accept the fact that you need to treat the individual, not the chart. I mean, I'm not a psychologist, but well, my sister's the psychologist, I guess. But there's just a point where people just completely lose track of what's going on in their life, and all they care about is just being famous. I mean, yeah, it would be nice if I suddenly went big, but at the end of the day, I'm happy enough just creating even if no one is watching. The point is, clout is temporary. creativity is forever. And if I suddenly didn't have electricity, if I suddenly lost my iPad, and for whatever reason, all I had left was just a napkin and a pencil, I'd still feel like I'd be able to create something that's worth my time and effort. May not be much, but at least it's something nice. A lot of people just want to assume that you can just let things roll over, and sure, maybe AI will blow over. Maybe AI is a fad that will blow over. But as it stands, people need to support their fellow artists. Everyone spends so long trying to tear each other down, trying to be bigger than the other person, that lose track of what's important. Sure, not everyone has the best surroundings. Heck, some people have parents who are either so involved or so uninvolved in their life that... Point is, while you can generalize a lot about humanity, there are always going to be the individuals who stick out from the crowd and just don't necessarily fall strictly in line with whatever the stereotype is. Like, sure, stereotypes exist for a reason. Some good, some bad, and some that are blatantly false, but what matters is that individuals will always have their own unique spark, their own little thread to add. I mean, that's why some of my teachers feel like, even though they're allegedly there to teach, they still somehow end up learning something new almost every single year, be it about themselves or be it about the subject they teach. I mean, I had a religion teacher who just had their mind blown by something that was basically initially supposed to be just one of those shower thoughts. And I feel like that's something that AI can't really do. Like, it doesn't get random shower thoughts that can just give you a whole new revelation on something you thought was irrelevant. Or at least I don't think it can give you something like that. What I'm trying to make is trying to put everyone in one single box is a temporary solution that in the long run doesn't really do much other than just hurt people. Ugh. And again, I guess some people, if they do show up, only show up for my nonsensical rambles. And I guess that's also why I consider just starting another YouTube channel entirely devoted to just researching and learning about different philosophies, because I learned over this past spring, I end up learning about this cool little thing called esotericism. It's just like, a lot of these seem to sound a bit like the random shower thoughts I have about just how so many religions have philosophies that overlap and differentiate in just small little flavors. Like, I kind of want to just explore different ideologies and thoughts and how different cultures view life, death, and everything else. Then again, some people just continue to live in abject fear of everything. Others, kinda in a romantic way, just chase learning. I know I kinda just started this whole little tirade off on just a discussion of a random question, which was, what do you value more, creativity or being really smart? But I kinda think that's a bit of an important question. I don't really view them as just as different things. I kind of view them as things that just grow together. You can't strictly have one without the other. Knowledge can't exist without creativity, and creativity can't be fueled without knowledge. It's not one or the other. I mean, sure, someone might lean more strongly into one or the other. I mean, I guess it's a case of that whole left brain, right brain thing. But I guess that's why people who lean into both tend to be called golden brains. But I guess that's all I have to say on that matter. Who knows? I might use that one as a question of the day if anyone ever pops up in chat and they can just share their opinion with me on that. Who knows? I'm still learning as a content creator. I'm expressing my creativity. And a bunch of people who want the clout to call themselves artists are not gonna be able to stop me from just enjoying what I do. They can say as much as they want that AI is the future and just embrace AI art, but I'm not going to embrace something that I frankly don't believe is art. Something that can't experience the joy of creation that I do. That doesn't solve problems or think about things the way I do. Maybe it's a case that I just don't understand how AI works. Maybe I need to wait till my, maybe I need to wait till I take my data science class. Maybe I need to wait till I take a class with, take that AI class with my, what's it called? With my advisor, or since he does a lot of research with AI. Maybe I need to wait to get a better understanding of that. The point is, I'm not just going to hand over my abilities to draw, to use Procreate, to even try writing poorly written, cringy poetry, when I can just enjoy the entire process of creation. There's not a more pointless trade for me than that. Who knows? You know, I never really thought about just how fitting previous jazz track was to just that whole little discussion, even if there was no one else actively participating in said discussion. But thing is, there are going to be, no matter what, could be, it doesn't even have to be AI. There are going to be people in your life who just hate on you for no reason other than you're doing what you enjoy. Now, that doesn't say that you have to, no matter what, there are going to be people in your life who will hate you just because you're happy. They're going to complain that you're not helping enough people. They're going to complain that you're not helping about in this group. And the thing is, it can feel just so draining, but the hardest part I guess I've had was just learning to not let it get to you. Now, I'll be honest, that's easier said than done, especially when you're probably a kid dealing with an incredibly hard situation. Like, you don't have the maturity or the resources to just up and leave a bad situation. And frankly, some people who frankly don't deserve kids at all. The thing is, even though the mantra "sticks and stones may break my bones" is said over and over, you're inevitably going to run to a situation where you've heard it so many times that you're just going to have a hard time not believing it's true. The power of the mind is a great and wonderful thing, but it can also be a bit of a curse. So, for now, keep doing what you love, and don't let a hater take that away from you. World will continuously try to tear you down for silly reasons. People will continue hating you for silly reasons. Sometimes it might be because you actually did something horrific and wrong. Sometimes it might just be because they're jealous. At the end of the day, all I can say is that it's just down to you to figure out whether or not they are right and that you actually did something wrong that you seriously need to apologize for, or if it's something that they're just angry because you're happy. Then again, the hardest part of anything is just taking the first steps to get yourself out of that hard place. And building a support system. I mean, I'll be honest, I didn't get this comfortable just spewing my thoughts into the internet for probably no one to watch by myself. I'll be honest, I initially wanted to start streaming in around February, was it? Then I ended up just not doing it because, one, I got busy, and two, I ended up just being in a really, I don't know how to say it, but just mentally being in a bad place. Like, I was full of doubts, I was hiding in my room more often. I was questioning my every decision. But then, I don't know how exactly, I just end up coming across some channel. I think it was mostly a case of I just lacked the confidence in myself to even try. Then and I'll be honest, I think this entire journey is just giving me a whole new perspective on content creation. Because sometimes it's just working through, sometimes it's knowing when you need to keep grinding and knowing when you need to take a break. And the hardest step is learning that subtle difference. Which is why I probably just started off doing about 3 hours for 3 days a week. And why I feel like I've gotten a bit more, I guess, comfortable with just being present online. And maybe it's because I'm just started channeling the energy of the characters I play and role I make, or maybe it's because I've admitted that maybe there are extensions of myself that I tried to bury. Out of fear that people wouldn't like them. And it was kind of both, I guess. As much as I hate writing literary analysis, because sometimes I just want to enjoy stuff because it's funny, sometimes I just need to take a step back and reflect on myself and my understanding of what I wanted to be and do. Life is a series of constantly moving goalposts. And sometimes all you can do is just roll with the punches and get back up. And getting back up is the hard part. So, who knows what the future holds? Who knows if this channel will blow up or if I will remain as a non-affiliate until I graduate. Heck, for all I know, Twitch could just suddenly implode. But now, I'm happy enough to just see where this journey takes me. And hopefully, and who knows, if I do grow big, hopefully I don't let that go to my head. Or at least I hope it doesn't go to my head. And again, I think that, I mean, yeah, I guess seeing numbers go up is a bit of a dopamine rush, but like I said, the hardest part is just getting started. Everyone wants the easy solution. The truth is, there is no such thing as an easy solution. Well, I guess the easy solution would be born rich. But, comes a day where I do have kids and the world has not imploded by then. I think the biggest lesson I would want them to learn is that you may have been born to wealth, but that shouldn't be your only personality trait. And the thing is, I feel like a lot of people try to make their physical or visual characteristics their personality traits, and the thing is, I don't think that works. I just don't. It's like, I connect more to a person who talks about their interests, about what they do and want from life, than I do to a person whose only personality is a general identity label. Like, congratulations, you've told me exactly one thing, and it's not exactly that helpful for me to connect with you. I don't know. this is half the problem. I'm not paying attention to the fact that I have multiple light sources coming from everywhere. I'm losing. I should have split each lightning bolt into just being its own thing. Now I'm having problems. It doesn't look too bad. I mean, I think the only problem is that the head's a little too far off to the side. I mean, then again, by the time I go to do line art, it's kind of too late to change most of that. Because, like, the sketch phase is the time to fix. Sketch phase and line art phase is just the time to fix anatomy and everything else. Problem for next time. No. I'm probably just gonna keep going on this piece until my iPad dies and call it a night. So there's a high likelihood that I will not be finishing this piece tonight. I guess is okay. Because this is a piece that's entirely for myself. I'm not beholden to any time constraints. Like, if I was working on a commission piece, though, oh, I obviously would be working on it outside of stream and maybe on stream if whoever commissioned it was cool with it, but no, it's fine. Anyways, thanks so much for watching. Been chill night. I might work on making some more transitions for shop, but I think for now I'm probably gonna also need to continue updating my Redbubble store. And obviously charging my iPad, but I genuinely don't know how to plug things. Content creation. It's fun. I'm learning how to do stuff. Stay creative, stay smart. More importantly, be the light in the world that you want to be. And most importantly, love yourself. Good night, all.